This is very perilous stuff you're messing with. It's a room full of Gotham podcasters. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's new series Gotham, set in the world of Batman. And this is our first live episode, so things are a little crazy.
I have Robin.
I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone, and this is my friend Robin, and this is Batman.
And Batman. And we still haven't figured out what we're calling this on the Gotham podcast yet, but on the Once Upon a Time podcast we generally call it Magic Juice, which we bring to more informal episodes. And we brought a few selections that were Gotham related here. First off, we have what I'm drinking, which is the Killer Penguin Ale right here, which is fun.
And I'm rocking some Ace Joker hard cider, even though he's not in the show yet.
And we also have some flying fish here for later.
And just for proper representation, a little bottle of Bacardi for a small back.
Excellent. Excellent. So we're going to get started talking to, we have a couple other Gotham podcasts on here with us today, but first we got it was weird, like right before we were about to start, we got this weird voicemail message from, I think it was Vicky maybe or something. I don't know. I guess we'll stay quiet and we'll figure out who it is.
Hey guys, this is Victoria Cartagena. I played Renee Montoya on Gotham, and I just really want to thank you so much for all your enthusiasm about this show as the premiere gets closer. We're having a blast, and we're actually completing episode 7, which has a lot of exciting sequences that, let's just say, my front double was needed, so buckle up. Anyway, look out for that one, and I hope you'll enjoy the show. See ya.
And yes, that was a very special message
very cool.
from Victoria, who you guys might not know, plays Montoya, Renee Montoya on Gotham. And actually, we'll go ahead and start introducing our Gotham podcasters here. Thank you, Victoria, by the way.
Yes.
We coordinated that over Twitter this week, and thank you so much. Very much appreciated. But actually, our first podcast that I'll be introducing is Derek and John, and they actually interviewed Victoria as well as Andrew, who plays Crispeth. Right, how are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Hi, doing good.
How you doing? This is a Gotham TV podcast in Dublin, in Ireland. Great to be on the show. Thank you very much for inviting us.
We're rocking caffeine and what looks like pints of vodka, but it's not. It's just water.
Pints of vodka. That's extremely hardcore.
That's putting the Irish in the podcast, really.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty late for you guys, isn't it? It's what, like 1 in the morning, something like that?
Yeah.
1 a.m. Yep. Yep. So, we're up and energetic. You know, we're looking forward to the show, and we're looking forward to talking with you guys about it. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm sorry that we're going to disappoint you, and you're going to be like, why did we even stay up for these guys? No, but actually, if you guys want to plug your latest episode, that would be great. Because it was a really good interview. Me and Anne-Marie both listened to it.
Excellent. Yeah. We did. We got an interview with Victoria Cartagena and Andrew Stewart Jones, who play Crispeth Allen and Renee Montoya on Gotham. Really delighted to get a bit of time with both of them, and who were able to answer some of our questions last week. So yeah, it was really, really good, and delighted to hear it, and delighted to hear the feedback from people who've been listening to the show. They seem to really enjoy it. And the two of them have been really, really good to deal with.
It was really good as well, just to find out that basically they would kick some ass, basically, if they were in an interview situation and we were being interrogated. Don't mess with them, I think. That's looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and we also have, unfortunately, his co-host, Kelly. He has 2 co-hosts on this show, but Kelly wasn't able to join us tonight. But Phil from Before the Bat, how are you doing, Phil?
Good. It's great to be here. I'm not foreign or anything. I hope I'm interesting enough.
Yeah, you said you were up from the Northeast, right, of these United States?
Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh.
Excellent. You know what? I really like the Nightwing picture you have behind you there.
Oh yeah, I got that at one of the conventions a couple years back.
Nice.
And two, it feels like you're on a little bit of a lag, which is going to make our next segment very interesting.
We win.
I'm actually gonna break character. I'm no longer Bill Meeks, the host of what's our podcast called, Legends of Gotham. I'm Bill Meeks, the guy trying to coordinate the roundtable. Do you think with his delay, do you think we should take turns or should we do buzz-ins for the trivia?
We can take turns. That's fine.
Take turns?
We can
Okay.
take turns.
Excellent. Well, we're going to do trivia.
Hi,
Surprise!
surprise!
And we don't have a lot of episodes or anything to base the trivia around, so I think what you did is you went and you watched that nice long
The 4-part.
The Legend Reborn special that they put out. And, a lot of that material's been recycled into various promotional spots and things like that. So we should all have a pretty good sense of it, right? I'll be keeping track of points.
Yes, please, because I'm bad at that.
And I guess what we'll do is we'll have Derek and John work on a team and Phil work on his own.
Yes.
And then if Kelly happens to pop in here,
she'll be on the team.
She can join Phil's team here.
All right.
But you want to go ahead, Anne-Marie?
Okay. Derek and John, when was the last time that Gordon was in Gotham?
Ooh, as a child.
As a child, yeah.
But is there an age that you're looking for?
Oh, they said a number.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. It was a time period, like a length of time.
It was 10 years, I think.
Yes.
Derek and John.
Over 10 years before.
Ding, 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 ding. We don't have a soundboard or anything, so I'm just going to be the soundboard.
We are the soundboard. All right, Phil. Okay, Phil.
Yes.
What does Fish call Gordon when he introduces himself?
Just a shot in the dark here. Detective? No.
Eric and John for the steal?
I think it's a tall glass of water.
Cool glass of milk.
Cool glass of milk. Oh, very good.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Yes, it was a cool glass of milk.
Ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding.
Right now we are 2-0.
2 brains.
Okay. All right, Derek and John. Who witnesses the Wayne murders?
Ooh, that's a big spoiler. Selena
It was in the promo.
Yeah, it's in the promo. It's like in every promo.
It's in every promo.
Selena Kyle.
Ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding,
or
ding.
cat girl, as I like to call her.
Actually, I'll do a different sound effect for this one. Meow, 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 meow.
Which is funny coming after the cool glass of milk.
I like to sound.
Okay. Phil, what division are Montoya and Allen in?
The MCU?
Yes. Yes, Major Crime.
Ding, 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 ding. Phil's on the board.
On the board. Okay. Derek and John, why does Oswald say he is snitching on his boss?
Because the murder of that young boy's parents was just too much for him to handle, or something like that.
I'm going to give you that.
Well, I'll say we'll give Phil the chance to steal here if he can get a better,
if he can do a better
exact
line.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. Why does Oswald say he is snitching on his boss?
I don't think I could do better than they did.
All right.
Oh, well, actually, I think Kelly's in here. Kelly, can you hear us?
Kelly, can you hear us?
Okay, Kelly can't hear us yet. We'll go ahead and continue on.
Okay,
so that was ding, 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 ding,
ding,
ding,
ding, ding. The correct quote was, "That poor orphan boy pricked my conscience."
Yes.
I like quotes. Sorry.
I like it.
Okay.
Oh no.
He has a good line reading of that too.
He's a really good line reading.
I remember the line reading.
La 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 la. Okay, this one is more on the technical side, and we are on. Who am I on here? Phil? Yes, Phil.
Yes.
Okay. How many weeks did it take for them to build the precinct set?
Oh. 6.
Derek and John for the steal?
Little conference for 10 there. 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
10 weeks it is.
10's a big number.
10's a number. 10 is a big. I didn't realize how many times 10 is involved. It does.
10 is the magic number.
Oh my.
Yes, it is.
It's a good set as well.
It's that Kelly. Okay, I think we have Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Can you hear us?
It is Kelly.
Yay!
Excellent. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I finally made it.
Yay.
Yay!
Welcome, Kelly.
Hey, good. Sorry. I was
That's it?
like well, my family threw an impromptu birthday party for me, and surprise, I had no idea. So, I got a little late. Sorry.
What's to do?
And
Happy birthday.
What? Come on.
Yes,
Oh,
happy
yeah,
Come on.
that's
What's
right.
more important? What's more important, Gotham or your birthday? Come on.
It's a little early. My birthday's actually the 24th, but my sister's birthday is the 16th, my niece's birthday is the 17th, my parents' wedding anniversary is the 19th, and mine is the 24th.
Lots of
It's
cake.
happy everything, and I literally, yeah, I had time to drive the local coffee house. They have Wi-Fi, and throw up my Mac, and here I am. So,
Nice.
in fact, I just got a cup. So,
Excellent.
Thank you, and we're glad to support the coffee farmers of every country, really.
Yes, absolutely.
Why don't we
Coffee
go
Berlin.
ahead and throw the next question to
Right.
Kelly, since she hasn't got to.
Oh, I feel bad with this one.
Kelly, we're right in the middle of a Gotham trivia. So I think we're going to throw the next question to you. And I'll say, since you just got in here,
oh
you
boy,
haven't had a chance yet, this will be worth double.
yeah.
I feel really
2
bad
points.
on this question.
Do you?
Throwing it at her.
Okay.
Do the next one then, and then
Okay.
come back to this one,
Okay,
because I know which
that's-
one
I
you're
may
on.
have an unfair advantage.
How's
I may
that?
have an unfair advantage because I've seen the pilot.
Ooh,
Oh.
You've seen the
How
pilot.
did you
Wow.
it was Woodside World in Chicago.
Ooh,
Yes,
there-
the entire pilot.
We will have to talk about that
Yes.
in a minute.
Okay, well then you probably will get this
We
one right.
totally can.
Okay, here's your question. What does Catgirl steal? There was one. Most of these were coming from that 4-part unborn. Unborn?
The Legend Reborn.
Legend Reborn.
The Legend Unborn.
I don't know.
Bruce Wayne will go back into the womb.
Going back. But she steals one thing in the promo. Oh, so maybe. Mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Oh goodness. Well, she steals more than one thing in the pilot, so I try to think what's the promo.
Spoilers.
Besides my heart, because she's awesome.
Right.
Naturally.
What is it she steals? Doggone it. I remember it was some. I'm not gonna spoil.
Yeah, that's the hard.
I remember it's taken from her eventually, but
I would imagine, yeah. Okay. We need
oh,
an answer.
goodness.
5,
Before the out.
4, 3,
I can't think of it.
2. Derek and John to steal.
I think.
I have no idea. I have
Is it-
absolutely no idea on this.
Is it the wallet?
Phil
In
for
that
the
one.
steal.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I was counting on Kelly to be my secret weapon.
I didn't think this one would be that hard. I'm really excited now. It was milk. She stole a half gallon of milk and had it shoved in her jacket.
That was,
Well,
our,
I
that
think-
was our first, or one of our first posts we ever put up on our website. Was that
That's
picture
right.
of her stealing
Was
milk.
it really?
And then she
Nice.
gives it to the cat.
Yep.
And she gives it to the cat. Totally. I remember that
That's
now.
awesome. Okay.
Well, I think technically at this point it's mathematically impossible for Before the Bat to win.
But I have really fun. The last 3 are, well, 2 out of the 3 are really fun.
Okay, let's.
Okay, Derek and John. I don't know how much research you did, but what is Bill and Anne Marie's favorite techie quote from that 4-part promo?
Wow. What's the favorite?
Did you listen to our podcast?
Oh, okay.
We did listen to your podcast, but I have. Well, I know you love the scream, Anne Marie, but that's not a techie quote. There you go. What's the favorite techie quote? Any idea, John? Any guess?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
The Scream? We'll just say The Scream.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Phil and Kelly for the steal.
Any idea? Have you listened to our show? If not, you won't know.
I hope. No, I barely have time to listen to my own show.
I have.
Wait, you listen to your own shows? Right. Phil,
Okay, well,
would you like
I
to give
actually
him the answer?
listened, but I spent a whole day teaching tech today.
Oh.
okay, well, I will say it was. I believe the gentleman's name was Mike Myers. He was one of the set designers, and he was talking about making the water, and he was like, and then you bring in the water, and you have to make it murky, but not too murky. I really enjoyed that one.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess, you know what? Those questions, gone.
Okay.
This is completely illogical, completely out of anything that we normally do. Last question. Whoever gets this question wins the contest, okay?
Oh, good grief.
Who in this hangout appeared in the Gotham fan trailer?
Bill Meeks and Anne-Marie.
Dun, 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 dun. Derek and John win. But everybody's a winner. I say everybody's a winner.
Everybody is a winner.
When you do Gotham trivia. Exactly. Okay, now I have another challenge here before we get into, more of a loosey-goosey conversation. I thought, one of the big jobs of like a fan caster or a podcaster for a specific show is to cover, the news stories surrounding the show every week. So I thought it would be a good idea if all of us tried covering a Gotham news story in our own particular style. So going up first is Gotham TV. Gotham, you want to go ahead and cover your story here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
The story we wanted to cover this week was one that came out from The Advocate, which was about the diversity that's within the city of Gotham, within the TV show of Gotham. It's a really interesting story with some contribution from the lovely Victoria Cartagena and from Jada Pinkett Smith. Really, the focus of the story is about the fact that this show is actually going to have a real living, breathing city. There's going to be there's a lot of women in high-profile roles. There's an LGBT character in there with Rena Montoya. And the diversity that's within the cast and the diversity within the city is really evident from it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of really important that Bruno Heller really kind of said he wanted it to be a city based in reality, that you would have Captain Essen, Sabrina Guevara, as like this head of the homicide unit. You've got Fish Mooney, head of a criminal underworld. All these ladies in positions of power, influence, like Barbara Keane. And then you have like this, as we found out from our interview, I suppose, with Victoria Cartagena, Rene Montoya, who is badass and mixes it with the men and will kick them, hit them, shout at them, or do whatever. I think it's just really important that it has that that element to it. It's really good to see, I think.
Yeah. I think it really adds to the longevity of the show as well, having this really diverse cast of people around. I think it's really going to be one of the things that'll stand out most about Gotham. So it's something that we're really interested in. I thought it was a fascinating article as well. So if you haven't read it, just go to advocate.com. It's under Holy Diversity Batman, which I love as a title as well. So they're really, really good.
I don't think Burt Ward, though, actually said that in his 109
Holies from
season 1 of... Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Yay! Round of applause for Derek and John. That was very good. I'd listen to that show.
I like it.
Definitely.
Good times.
Okay, let's see here. Next up in our news challenge, before the bat, go ahead and take it away, Phil and Kelly.
Okay, the article I have is from Deadline, and I think we mentioned this briefly on our last podcast, Kelly, about how Netflix has already bought the rights to Gotham before the first episode even, aired. I think it said the deal was like worth. I mean, it's like
how exciting
it works out.
That?
Yeah, it's like it works out for them like $1.3 million an episode or something. It's it's a pretty big deal for something that hasn't even aired yet.
And that's going to be amazing for viewers because not only, you'll be able to catch up on Netflix too, which so many people do that nowadays. I know there's plenty of times where I'm playing catch up on shows, and it'll be nice for people that maybe don't catch the first episode or two. They'll be able to catch right up on Netflix, which will be great.
Yeah. I think they said they're throwing up the whole season next September, so right before season 2.
Okay, so they're not putting them up right after they air.
But still, you
they're
can catch up.
I'm curious. Sorry.
No, that's good.
He's looking at me like this is their news section. I'm like, I have questions.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're putting them up one at a time. I think that might be Netflix's new business model, is they're putting up whole seasons at a time.
Okay. Okay. Well, there was a time where they would put them up after they aired, right?
Yeah, like back when Netflix instance
Yeah.
first started, we used to watch
started?
Heroes that way.
Yeah.
We did watch Heroes that way.
They put it up like a day after it aired or something.
Yes. Okay. So
And they used to do Breaking Bad over here. They put that on the same night it was airing in the US, which is really unheard of. I think a lot of the channels over here.
I remember that. I may or may not have used the VPN to watch the finale. I won't admit to anything. But round of applause for Before the Bag.
Well done, guys.
Yay! Okay.
snaps for you.
And here, let's see, to wrap up our news section, Anne-Marie, did you see this?
I didn't. It's loading.
Oh, you did? Okay. I thought it was really cool, especially, considering that we're still this far out from the show starting and everything. The Television Critics Association has actually voted Gotham as the most promising new show this year.
I buy it.
Which is pretty amazing. I mean, I've actually heard that the main shows that are getting a lot of attention this year are all like DC Comics based, like the three top shows as far as social media engagement, critical acclaim, or Constantine, Gotham, and The Flash.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's just
especially coming from the non-comic book girl. It's very interesting.
But no, I thought this was like a very good.
I believe it though. I mean, just from these promos, they're really exciting. They pull that feel of the police procedurals, but it also has enough of the comic booky stuff to get those fans. It's appealing to many, many groups.
Yeah, while at the same time it doesn't seem geared towards the lowest common denominator. It's
intelligent.
Yeah, it seems almost like a show you would see on like an AMC or like the Teen Titans coming up like on TNT or like a cable network.
Okay.
Not necessarily geared towards the people who are watching, I don't know, Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen.
But yeah, very, very cool, and hopefully bodes very well that we won't have to start another new podcast next year because Gotham was canceled.
Right. Well, and it does even mention that a potential new breakout star is Robin Lloyd Taylor, which we've been saying since the very first promotion.
Yeah, that he was like kind of the guy to watch. Right?
Yeah, he is exciting just to watch an interview with, let alone act.
Oh yeah. And scene.
Very good. Congratulations.
Snap like
the one thing I really enjoyed about that article was the comment about social media in the UK being particularly active around Gotham. I think that's just us.
I was gonna say that's just you guys. You guys are like so active on social media, it's ridiculous. Like I have a hard time keeping up with you.
You are the best retweeters I have ever seen.
And I have my Twitter up like during my entire workday, so that's.
When you remember, your workday is while we're at home in the evening, so we just sit here and tweet.
Yeah. Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Competition. Dun, 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 social
That's okay.
media.
We can social media while you sleep.
But you do. We keep the 24-hour presence then.
Exactly.
I was going to say, what we need to do is we need to get a personal assistant in Australia.
Work together.
Get somebody in Australia to take care of that time. I love it.
To cover the dark hours. Okay, so I guess probably the way we should begin here is we should probably, each give a little spiel. What kind of differentiates our podcast for the other? Why are we better than the other people here? Is basically what I want everyone to go into. And be as cool as you want.
Don't be cruel. We're all friends for now.
I'm getting on the cool part.
That's right.
For now.
Give us a few weeks.
No, but let's go ahead and start with Phil and Kelly from Before the Bat. What's your deal? How do you Gotham podcast?
That sounds like a loaded question.
Very much so.
Well, last episode was the first one where all three of us were together, but I think the easiest way to describe us is Kelly has the best background in TV, and Tyler and I come more like from a comic book background.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're gonna cover not just the show but the comics.
Sorry, I don't think you mentioned. Go ahead and give a shout out to Tyler too, because he wasn't able to be here tonight because we wanted it to be even. with the host and everything?
We weren't giving you the advantage of a third host.
Yeah, Tyler
Hey,
Patrick.
Hi, Tyler.
It's
That'll make
fun
his day.
because it's not your usual. You got two comic book guys, and I've reviewed TV for the last 7 years, so I enjoy a superhero show. I podcast a couple other superhero shows too, so I come at it from a whole different angle. I'm not so much the comic books. I've read for a long time, and I'm getting back into that now. But I go for more the cinematic, the writing, the music, those type of elements. I'm also a musician, so.
That'll do it.
What other shows do you podcast for? You mentioned a couple of Arrow and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe?
Arrow and the Flash.
Arrow and the Flash.
So I'm
Excellent.
Arrowcast and Flashcast.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're going to watch The Flash. I don't think we're going to do any sort of podcast.
I can't do 3 podcasts. Nope.
Because we already have the Once Upon
I
a
do
Time
3 right
one.
now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, the
that's
funny
fun.
part is, the funny thing is I podcast for Flash and Arrow also, but different podcast than Kelly.
Yes.
Nice.
Are you guys planning any crossover episodes or anything like that?
Yeah, we did. We were.
Well, that may
I think
happen.
I think I
Put
did
on Arrow.
throw around round tables for those, perhaps.
Nice.
Roundtables are good.
Good
They
time. I like
open up community and everything.
Mhm.
Okay, Anne-Marie, why don't you give people a little bit of an idea of what they'll be in for if they tune into Legends of Gotham. Also, I would like to mention there are 6 people watching live over on the Google Plus page, bit.ly/Gotham Podcast. If you want to throw some questions for us at the end, we'll get to them.
We'll take it. Okay, for Legends of Gotham,
Cool.
basically, that guy over there is a big old comic book geek. And, he's so far as to have, like, the Superman tattoo on his shoulder.
It's on
I
this arm. It's inconvenient for
It's
me to get to, or
inconvenient.
I'd get to it.
Yeah. I, however, just like TV, and especially love a good police procedural, SVU, CSI. I'm currently remarathoning SVU, whatever's on Netflix, which they need to update because it still has Stabler. And so that's where I come from into this. But as soon as he was like, "Hey, there's going to be a Gotham show," I was like, "Hey, we should do a podcast because that actually just sounds fun."
Yeah, and weren't you were watching a procedural with Bullock like right around the time
He
that-
was on SVU.
Yeah, he was on SVU.
He was on SVU, and he was
Yeah,
like a
SVU.
main character. And then he's like, "No, he's gonna be Bullock in Gotham." I'm like, "How is he gonna be the no?" And then they kicked him off the show the next episode. I was
Yeah,
like,
didn't
"Oh."
they say he was transferring
They
to another
transferred him
department?
to another department. So I was like, "You bad word, bad word, bad word." But basically, Legends of Gotham is going to sort of educate the audience as well as me
Mhm.
on anything Batman that comes up, because I'm just going to watch and go, "Oh, look at the pretty. I like that story." And you're going to be like, "Oh, there's 17 backstories. Here, read these books." And I'm going to go, "No, just tell
or
me about them."
You'll be like, "Oh, I really like this new character. I wonder what his deal is going to be." And I'm like, "That's the Riddler."
Hey, I know the Riddler.
You do know the Riddler.
I know the Riddler.
Oh,
But
by the
that's
way,
about it.
I don't think we've mentioned this on the podcast, so I'll just mention it real quick before we throw to Gotham TV. Is that the Riddler, the actor who plays the Riddler, I completely blanked on his name just now, but he answered a traditional Riddler riddle for me on Twitter. Like he
I can-
tweeted out a picture of himself standing in front of the Golden Gate Bridge,
I'm getting it.
and I responded to him, "When is a bridge like a troubled child?" And he responded in kind, "When it's suspended." So
Corey Michael Smith.
Corey Michael Smith. I
Sorry,
apologize
Corey.
for getting that, Corey. I can't remember my
A
own name.
lot of
off the
these
top.
people have 3 names, which I can't say anything because I have 3
Well,
names.
That's
but-
actually a SAG. That's
It is
actually a SAG thing because they come into SAG and there'll already be a Corey Smith.
Right.
So they
because
have to
it's
throw in the
very-
middle name there because you can't have
Yes.
2 people with the same name. Or
Which is understandable. I'm just saying.
Now, what I want to know is, can you have 2 people with the same name on Gotham TV podcast? Probably not, but 2 people with different names probably want to explain how they approach Gotham.
Wow.
Go ahead, guys.
That's
That
a
was
good
an awkward transition.
Yeah, so we're based in Dublin in Ireland.
Yeah.
We've been covering the show since March, so we have quite a few episodes out there. We've got just did our 14th episode there.
15th. Yeah.
15th. We just recorded our 15th yesterday. Yeah, spoilers. So what we've been doing essentially is from the beginning. I know, yeah, it's good, isn't it? I'm behind on these things. What we essentially been
I can't count.
What we've essentially been doing is covering a lot of the comic series that have led to the creation of Gotham. Things like Gotham Central, which is probably a very big character-heavy comic book series featuring Renan Montoya and Crispus Allen.
All centered around the police department and so on, and that kind of came from tweets really early on from Ben McKenzie and so on, where he had this like library set out on his table, and we kind of zoomed in and spotted a few comic books, and we kind of thought, well, let's have a look at these, see how that's going to inform him, his character, his role, and so on. Maybe give us an idea about the show. So we kind of looked at it from that, leading up to obviously the air date, and that's why at the moment we call ourselves 0 Year. Obviously reference to the comic books there, and then year 1, as and when we get the show, we will. As long as if we get to year 100, then I think that will
year
be
1 million.
Yeah, that will be. We will look a lot older, I reckon.
Yeah, you guys covered Gotham Central too, which very very much a inspiration point for this show. We wanted to do more of kind of covering like relevant episodes of the animated series and maybe a couple of the comic things, and we just didn't have time.
It just didn't happen.
It completely fell off our radar.
Radar.
We started covering Gotham Central in probably May, I think it was, and our final 5th part of the series just last month. So we were going for a long time, and we diverted off into doing the Christopher Nolan films, which are 3 2-hour podcasts, I think.
Yeah, really dense films and stuff.
Yeah.
We were kind of. We had to go and watch Batman and Robin just to get some light relief, but it was it ended up being
his idea.
It sort of was the sinking feeling watching Batman and Robin on the TV. But,
let me ask you: were there any, like maybe 1 or 2 little nuggets you might have pulled out of Gotham Central you think are going to be super relevant as we get into the main series?
Absolutely. I think the big thing about Gotham Central, if you don't know what it's about, essentially the purpose of it is what do the Gotham PD do during the daytime? What do they do at the times when Batman isn't involved in the city? So it's quite a I was going to say quite essential. It's quite a good inspiration point and jumping off point for anybody that may be interested in reading some of the comic books. The biggest piece in it is probably the arc of Renan Montoya. As we mentioned earlier on, the character is a lesbian in the show.
Yeah.
That's up front in all of the trailers now that we've seen. It's up front. That's her past. In the comic book series, that was a huge arc for her. But it also deals with her past and some of the other characters that she's dealt with in the past, and them coming back. And
obviously her relationship with her partner Crispus Allen. And I think everyone's coming at the show differently. I think one of the things from us is really want to see how the origins of the villains, but also to see those lives of the different police partnerships and how they all intermingle will be like really cool to see. I think.
Absolutely. And I know we plugged it already, but the interview with Victoria and Andrew, to be honest with you, that was a huge get for us, purely because of how interested we were in those characters from Gotham Central.
Right.
They were the first people we wanted to interview, and we were delighted to be able to get that experience.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So
plug it again. They're a very, very, very nice too. Like we've been going back and forth with them on Twitter and stuff. Just the nicest people you could ever want to meet.
I love how active they are. They're probably 2 of the most active cast members.
Yes,
and you can definitely tell they're 2 of the most excited too. Like they're just like so pumped to be in it.
I got this gig. Like that's what it feels like. Somebody wanted me. Yes.
Okay, now our next question here, I did have you guys listed to go first, but you reference my picks, so I figure we'll circle back around to you. The question here is basically what heroes or villains we want to see from the comics maybe come into the show. And I have sort of like a pet theory, pet one here, and if at Gotham TV writers are listening, please put this in. I'll give you $1 million.
When we have it, which don't hold your breath.
But I want the Condiment King. I want some down on his luck.
That's right. You talked about
guy in a midlife crisis with condiment guns trying to rob a bank. That's all I want out. If that's all I get out of this show, I will leave the show happy. So Gotham TV writers.
That's awesome.
Gotham TV writers we'll stop podcasting about this show. So do it. No, I'm kidding. So that's like my one little wish, and then obviously and I guess we'll go ahead and expand this to the big two that I would really love to see would be the Question and the Spectre. Because the Question and the Spectre, not the originals, but the legacy characters are Renee Montoya and Crispus Allen. So I would really love to see them throughout the course of this series build to that. Build to turning Renee Montoya into objectivist. I can't speak. Objectivist? Objective. Ayn Rand. No, but superhero like the Question, and then see Crispus Allen turn into God's Spirit of Vengeance. That would be really cool. Do you have any?
Blank face.
Blank
I know
face?
nothing.
Well, that's the Question. The Question has the blank face. So,
I like it.
I am pretty sure that the only character or the only villain that I know that we don't already know is on the show is the Joker, and we know he's going to be on the show eventually.
Eventually.
They've said it. They've already started dropping hints. So, the Joker and Harley. Oh my God.
Fair enough. Okay, and I'll go ahead and throw to Gotham TV. What characters would you guys like to see?
We love the idea of the Question. As we said, any more screen time that Vicky Cartagena gets, the better, really. Really delighted about that one.
We certainly like two big magazines over here. I don't know whether you guys get them in the US, but Sci-Fi Now and SFX. They kind of.
I think we might.
Yeah, they ran stuff about exploring other vigilantes, obviously because there's no Batman. And obviously with the Question, that would be a really sort of nice way, I reckon, of bringing other types of vigilantes that help protect. So we're totally with you on the Question, definitely. And then the big bad from Gotham Central, really. I know he's been sort of Jim Corrigan. He has a huge part to play in Gotham Central, and that element of evil or villainy within the actual police department, like real proper.
For those who aren't familiar, you want to give like the elevator pitch for the character, because I know the original character who was the original Spectre. But...
Yeah, this is so Jim Corrigan is basically he's within the forensics division, and he kind of takes bits of evidence and sells them on eBay, that type of stuff, and you kind of think that that's all he does, and then it gradually gets deeper and deeper where he's taking drugs off the street and all this type of stuff. He's got beat officers in his pocket, and it has fairly tragic consequences by the end of Gotham Central, but it's just that idea of this really evil, corrupt police officer within, the police department when they're trying to fight crime, and this descent that they're saying of corruption and chaos in Gotham itself would be a really nice sort of kind of twist, and it's been hinted he's in Constantine or another Jim Corrigan, so. I mean, kind of a bit like you, even with the Spectre, that idea of having that crossover with another show could be quite cool, and that sort of supernaturally type thing could be really good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to be shying away from the supernatural elements with the Poison Ivy stuff that they've kind of previewed and everything, which is very cool. And the way you describe Jim Corrigan almost puts me in mind of like Vic Mackey from The Shield, just like that super corrupt cop, except we might not see a redemption arc for him.
Yeah, maybe not.
Now, Kelly put in here in chat, and we'll go ahead and throw into Before the Bat on this too, but she mentioned that there was a bit of that element in the pilot. Without getting too spoilery, could you expand a little on that for us, Kelly?
Yeah, you definitely had the feeling in the pilot that you had questions of, okay, who's really good and who's really bad here? I mean, I fell in love with Jim Gordon within the first 10 minutes of the show. That was instant. But he is forced to make some very interesting decisions in this pilot that make you question his partner and other people in the department as to what their motives are, how much they're collaborating with organized crime. It's really pretty gritty. It's great. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Like having the entire pilot, who was your favorite character overall in the pilot?
Oh, I really liked Gordon, and I found myself really wanting to get to know Selena Kyle very much. She was very, very fun, and you have a lot of questions about her. And also Mr. Cobblepot.
Yes. He does walk out like a penguin on occasion.
He is well. The poor guy gets he gets the shaft kind of, and you kind of feel bad for him, but you kind of see where his beginnings are. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
I'm sure he'll get his revenge somewhere along the way.
Somewhere.
I guess we'll go ahead and open up
yeah.
Phil, what characters from the comics would you like to see come over?
Well, first of all, I don't know if they could do it because he's going to appear in Arrow this season, but I thought Ra's al Ghul would be an interesting choice since he's basically immortal.
And he's more of a Batman character than he is a Flash character, or Arrow character.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could see him checking out young Bruce Wayne, be like, could be someone I have to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And another one, and the other name I was going to throw out, I don't know if many people here know this, but Basil Karlo, and I think he was the first Clayface, and I think they used Matt Hagen in the animated series, the second Clayface, but the idea was the same. It was like, that being kind of interesting, a homicidal actor.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Even with no powers, just like a homicidal actor.
Yeah, that's the great thing too is, and that's one of the reasons I always love Batman the Animated Series so much is they always had really good villains and very like noirish kind of tragic villains, and that's something I really hope to see from this show too. One more character I'll mention, and then we'll move on to the next topic that I would really love to see at some point would be the Outsider, which is an evil version of Alfred. Basically, Alfred I forget what it is. He gets hit with a ray or something like that, and it becomes almost like he has like weird like Killer Croc kind of skin, and he becomes like this evil guy, and it's like this mystery for several issues. Like, who's this outsider guy who's terrorizing Batman, knows he's Bruce Wayne, everything else. So I think it would be really cool to see Alfred become the outsider while taking care of little Bruce Wayne. That could definitely make for a very cool little Bruce episode. But
Sean Pertwee can play dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know who?
Sure.
You know what else we were saying on the last episode of our podcast might be interesting if you saw the Haley Circus and maybe like a younger version of Dick Grayson's parents.
Yeah.
Like maybe Bruce likes to go there every once in a while just to relax.
I'm just gonna bring Robin back.
There's Robin. Hi, Robin.
Welcome back.
Hi, Robin.
By the way,
Robin.
I don't think we've called this out, and for our audio listeners, we are in black and white tonight, so it's kind of like the old movie serials over here with our Batman and Robin dolls. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and this is just an open question. I'm going to throw it out there open, and I'm not even going to answer it.
Oh, so you didn't want my answers in there.
No, you can answer. You can answer. I will not answer.
I'll let them answer.
What characters are you most excited for? Open question. Go.
Straight away.
How many?
straight away.
One.
Montoya and Allen. They are one. They are the ones that I'm definitely most excited for, without a doubt.
See, I thought you were saying they are one, like they are one unit. They are
They
a
are
partnership.
They kind of are.
I think Cobblepot. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Robin Lord Taylor brings to Oswald Cobblepot, and also Harvey Bullock. I just think he's all layers of different grey potentially. And
Oh yeah. If I was answering this question, that would be my answer. Would be Bullock.
Mhm.
But I'm not.
But
You're
you're
not.
I'm
Never
excited
give
for
John
Oswald.
never give John a question that he has to provide one answer to.
I'll always provide 2 or 3. Sorry.
Excellent.
That's good.
Anne-Marie?
I'm excited for Oswald to see where he goes.
Yeah.
Like I've said, like from the very, very beginning, he's been so crazy and twisted, and I'm excited.
Have you seen any of the photos of what's her name, Carol Kane,
Yes.
as his mom?
Mhm.
Oh, she looks crazy.
Yeah, it looks good.
She's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hair. Woo, put down the teeth.
Straight out of Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Fitting.
Fitting.
I'm looking.
Okay, before the
yes.
back. Go ahead. Sorry,
I'm
Kelly.
looking forward to see. That's okay. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Selena Kyle and her storyline. There's kind of an interesting event in the pilot that really has me curious to see where they're going to go with it.
I can
and
feel you
I'm really
biting
curious
your
about
tongue from here.
Alfred.
We appreciate that.
I totally am.
You want to start quoting?
I'm
don't you?
also
That's
curious
what you
about
want to do.
Alfred.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I tried to be really good on our podcast and not spoil. So I
Well.
like that. I want to tease you. I want to get you interested to
Yeah.
come watch, but not spoil.
Right.
Alfred, I think it's going to be interesting too. There's a different kind of feeling with this new Alfred than I got from every other Batman I've seen. So I'm really kind of interested to see where they're going to go with the relationship with Bruce and Alfred, and if Bruce is going to have interactions with any of these other people who later become villains, vigilantes, whatever, as he's young. I'm curious about that.
Excellent. Okay, Phil, I think you're the only one who hasn't answered besides me because I'm not. Bullock. Go ahead.
Okay.
In case you didn't know, Bullock.
Yeah, I think that it might sound like the easy answer, but I think I'm looking forward to Jim Gordon just to see like the qualities of the character. You know, is he going to stay 100% by the book cop, or are we going to see kind of like Batman tendencies? Is he going to have to cross the lines at certain points and almost become close to a vigilante?
Right.
Or like is it gonna have like kind of a corruption arc and then come back from it or something like that?
Maybe not corruption, but just like bend the rules to get the job done. So like years later when Batman does appear, Gordon, that's why Gordon understands him somewhat, because he's like I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing we're all looking for from Gordon as far as character growth is the mustache, right? Like this has to be the origin story of the mustache for sure.
What clean shaven season 1, 5 o'clock shadows season 2.
Season 3 they go completely off the grid and do like a goatee or something.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
but
he
he has
dials
like
it
the
back.
shaped like crazy
the whiskers.
sideburns.
And the hair just keeps
long
getting grayer
whiskers.
and grayer.
Starts to lose his eyesight.
Or he loses it because he's pulling it out.
Or maybe somehow Poison Ivy's like toxin is responsible for his mustache growth or something like that.
How
Okay.
close is she getting?
Okay, here, another open question, another one I won't be answering.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Gun to your head.
Uh-huh.
What has you really worried about this show as a fan of like the character or the world? Like, is there anything that has you like, I'm a little nervous that they're going to get this aspect wrong or they're not going to hit this right? Anything. Open question.
All right.
Yeah.
My
From the pilot.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Good. Okay. From the pilot, I'm a little concerned about Fish Mooney. I felt like she was almost a little too cartoony. I mean, it could be the whole eccentricity, but it was dialed up a whole bunch of notches. It almost felt a little too cartoonish. I was looking for a little bit more grit, like the Arrowverse or that kind of thing. So that made me a little concerned. But that was just the pilot, so.
That's one thing that's always struck me from like all the promotional material and everything is like I think I'm going to enjoy her performance, but it is a little kind of scenery chewy, a little bit of sort of like mustache twirly villainish.
You love mustache twirly.
I do when it's done well.
They're like your favorites. You're like,
mustache twirl. This is the mustache episode.
That's
but
just the one place where I'm kind of on the edge.
Just like not sure how it's going to go.
Well, we know she's going to die.
Exactly. I mean, well, yeah, but, that's going to happen. And,
she goes down twirling her mustache.
Somebody else is going to take her place. She's like,
goodbye!
She wears it down too much. Okay, anyone else have any major concerns, or well, minor, major concerns?
Now I'm nervous for Fish Mooney. I suppose for me, one of my biggest concerns really is actually going to be the reception for the show. I know we're all excited about it. I know we're sitting around really excited about it, but we've all seen the comments out there, I'm sure, about people not wanting to see a show about Gotham without Batman. I think they've done a great job so far on the promotion of the show and showing what's going to be involved in the show, but there's still going to be at least 40-50% of the people that are going to tune in are people that want to see a Batman show. They're not going to see it. So those people are going to be pretty annoyed that they've been told to turn on to the show, and it's difficult to keep positive about a show when you see a lot of negative feedback about it.
Right.
Well, we were talking about this because it was kind of like at least that's up front about it's the Batman prequel. At least that is up front. Like for me, my main kind of nervousness is to do with blending, in a sense, this idea that there's a lot of villains there, and there's a lot of villains that have been hinted at, like Mr. Freeze as well, and all that for later on, and Hugo Strange, and it's how they blend them across the 16 episodes, like rather than having all these just coming at you, that they maybe just take their time with some of them, say like Corey Michael Smith and the Riddler. And then the other thing is how they blend that kind of police procedural with the serialized element of, say, the Penguin's origins and the development of Jim Gordon, I think. Because I think with Arrow in season 1, it got very episodic, and then they seem to sort of change it up, and in season 2 it became much more serialized across season 2. So they're just my two little concerns that I'm nervous about, just how they blend it, but they're the professionals, so I'm sure they'll get it pretty right. But
turn the lights off for
Kelly. I think they're kicking Kelly out of the coffee house.
I got a couple more minutes, but they had to turn off the lights behind me because they control the drive-through. So.
Okay, so you have a couple more minutes. We'll try and push through as quickly as possible here. Okay, I think the only person we haven't heard from on this is Phil. Phil, are there any concerns you have?
Yeah, the concern I've had from day one is that is the show going to get just more depressing as time goes on, because crime is just getting worse? Because if the cops handle the criminals too easily, then you're going to be like, well, then what's the point? Why do they need a Batman later on if they, everything's hunky dory and the police are keeping charge, taking charge and.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that, and. I also say too, like kind of the way I'm feeling like the episodes are going to go is going to be kind of like a freak of the week while playing out more of the Penguin and Gordon's arc over the course of the entire series. That's where I see it going right now, and I guess we should go ahead and get into predictions here too. I think my big prediction for season 1 is that the season finale of season 1. Oswald, the Penguin, is going to kill Fish Mooney and assume her power position in the Gotham underworld.
You think it's going to wait that long?
Yeah, I think so. I think what they'll do is they'll kind of play out the character over the season, and then in the last episode he'll betray her, maybe even referencing back that moment we've all seen in the promotional materials.
In the back of the car.
Yeah, or no, I would open a vein or whatever. I would assume maybe like from a writerly perspective, maybe kind of like doing some sort of synchronicity with that scene, because that seems like a pretty important scene in all the promotional stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have any predictions, Anne-Marie?
I don't remember. Hold on, did I have one? No.
No. Okay, Anne-Marie is a blank slate.
I'm telling you, I'm like, let's do this. I'm a lot better when there's episodes, so I have something to talk about.
You have material to build off of. Okay, let's see here. Gotham TV podcast. What are your predictions for season 1?
I think for me, I think the biggest prediction I have is that we have no idea what we're going to see for a lot of these episodes. Every single bit of promotion that we've seen, every still, every trailer that we've seen so far has all been from episode 1, which only Kelly here has seen. We've got another 15 episodes to cover, and I'm really excited to see what they do in those 15 episodes and how they expand those casts. You know, looking at TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or like Arrow is a really good example. The change, if you look at an episode from season 2 of that, or even towards the end of season 1 of Arrow, versus the first 3-4 episodes of that show, it's almost unrecognizable.
See, people keep telling me I need to get back into Arrow because I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes and I hated it. Like, I absolutely hated it.
We turned off at episode 10.
Yes.
We turned off at episode 10 of season 1, but we have watched all the way through to the end of the second season, and it's worth getting back into. It is the Batman TV show if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, season 2 was a lot different than the first season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely have to check that out. Okay, I'm sorry, Derek and John, did you have anything else to add as far as predictions, or should we move on to Before the Bat?
No, I think that's it, really.
John has no predictions
Okay,
either.
cut out the guys who stayed up way late for us. Okay, Before the Bat.
It's 2 a.m.
The 2 a.m. circles are starting to appear. I got it! I can do this! I got it, man!
Okay, Before the Bat, any predictions for season 1?
Well, I'm going to take the easy way and throw everyone else's predictions in. I think there are going to be a lot of surprises, but the way you were saying you thought Fish Mooney was going to get killed in the season finale, I think maybe she won't get killed. Maybe her and Cobblepot will have like a big gang war.
That could be fun.
Interesting.
So, like, Gotham is too?
Yeah, maybe Cobblepot takes more of the freaks. Like, I know they said they're planning on putting Mr. Freeze in the show.
Mm-hmm. I know there's been some noise about Harvey Dent too. Not necessarily Two-Face, but Harvey Dent.
That would make sense.
That would be cool though to kind of have like I don't know, like the last 10 minutes of the season finale be the start of the gang war. All the villains or all the gangsters flow out onto the streets to cause havoc, and then the summer break.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Let's all go to the
That would be awesome.
Shots are fired. You don't know who's dead until next season.
See, that's fun.
I kind of think it's gonna take. I think it's gonna take a while for Cobblepot to work his way up to taking over anything. He's really pretty weak to start out with.
He's holding her umbrella.
Like it doesn't seem like he has
that's
any
where it
machinations
starts.
going on, or
He seems like he's the lackey at the bottom of the totem pole, and that's what gets him mad and gets him wanting to get power. My prediction, I'm gonna be really crazy. I'm gonna predict that there's gonna be a season 2 right now. I can tell you
like those
that.
types of predictions.
Nice.
There was an auditorium completely packed for the pilot at Chicago. I can tell you that there was maybe a sixth of that room for a Leonard Nimoy Skype. So we're talking that many more people. They were going crazy and applauding. The power went out during the pilot.
Wow.
There was a terrible storm. The power went out, and there was only like 4 minutes left. And everybody thought, oh no.
It's like the worst
Took them
possible
15
time.
minutes to get the power back on. Yeah, took them 15 minutes to get the power back on. And then we didn't have any audio. Took them a few more minutes to get that. So we finally got to see the ending of it. But because of that, we didn't get any time with the stars, which really kind of stunk because they were there and, no time to talk to them to do the Q&A. But I think there's going to be a season 2. I think that you're going to be really surprised by Jim Gordon's ingenuity at here he is in a place that's so corrupt, and he's trying to fight the corruption, but he's got to do it in a way that he can stay where he's at, where they don't get rid of him. So he's got to find creative ways to fight the dirty cops. By there you go. Yeah, well, he's got to do it alone for a while because he's pretty young yet. But find interesting ways without jeopardizing his position.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think that's going to keep it really interesting.
And Batman had showed up here.
Welcome, Batman.
I don't know how he got here. I'm sure no one saw me reaching for him while you were talking, Kelly.
Here's the symbol.
Oh, there's another one.
Ready.
There's another one. Wait.
Yeah, got my Batman on.
Nice. Bill has a Batman as well. It won't go to him. Come on, Google.
Okay. But Batman's showing up, which means it's time to end our show. I know, but I want to go ahead and I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Complete and total blast. And I figured we'll end letting everyone know where they can find our individual podcast. As for us, we podcast at legendsofgotham.com. You can search iTunes or whatever, Legends of Gotham. Our Twitter's at Legends of Gotham. And my Twitter is at Bill Meeks.
And my Twitter is at DeSimone.
And if you want to contact us about thoughts about the first episode when it comes out, legendsofgotham.com has all of our contact info up there and everything like that. Okay, Gotham TV podcast. Where can people find you? I think it's about time for Bill to go. Yeah, I think the Killer Penguin.
Nice, killed you. Nice. Well, we're GothamTVPodcast.com. You can get all of our shows on there. We're also on iTunes, Player FM, pretty much anywhere. You can get us on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus. We're always willing to chat. It's really easy to find us. It's Gotham TV Podcast pretty much everywhere. So
they are always on the social media.
We are around.
Always, even when they're sleeping. I think they sleep answer things.
Who sleeps anymore?
That's true. Who sleeps?
Okay, and before the bat, where can people find you?
Our email is beforethebat@gmail.com. Facebook is Before the Bat, the Gotham Podcast, and on Twitter we're at Before the Bat Pod.
Excellent.
And
yeah,
I'm at
go ahead,
Super
Kelly.
Squint.
Super Twit?
I'm at Super Squint.
Super Squint.
Super Squint.
Super Squint.
Super squinty.
Excellent. Sorry for talking over you about a million times there, Kelly. Yeah. Oh, I think she's gone anyway.
And she's gone. She comes right in just in time. She's like, I'm Super Squint back.
Which is great. Okay, now, Anne-Marie, we still haven't figured out how we're closing these
We have
yet.
no idea how we're closing these.
I guess until next time, they come back for more
Gotham!
Legends of Gotham Podcasters Roundtable. Yay!
You know that.
Everyone clap.
Just clap.
Everyone clap.
Thanks,
Clap now.
Good job.
There we go.